This is 8 gigabytes of RAM. This is 4 and 4. Right now you have 4 gigabytes of RAM in 2 and 2. And that's not enough for Windows 10. So we're gonna upgrade, which means this needs to come out. Let's see how this works again. So I go to unscrew it and they don't need to come off after all. That works. There we go. And there's that. That's satisfying. Perfect. One. Boing. And just like that, we've doubled the speed. This is satisfying. Since I'm in here, this little guy right here is a battery, and that's how the computer remembers what time it is even though you unplug it. It's about 4 or 5 years old. It's probably fine, but I might as well replace it anyway, just in case. They do eventually go bad. And there we go, it's done. I replaced it with a lithium battery thinking that I was upgrading it. No, it turns out it already had a lithium in it, so I'm surprised that it had a lithium in it. So I have to put this fan in that spot.
I cut your hair really short, actually. I cut it shorter than I normally do.
And Alexia is on the video in the background. Because she can't stop talking about herself. So there's the original, and this is the new one. This is the only one I could find that had the similar performance. So I have to bend this tab, and these tabs, it's hard to see them, but this tab needs to go flat down there again. Another one right there needs to go flat. Hopefully it'll clear this PCB. That's what I'm hoping. Ooh, it's still like it. I need 2 hands. Well, Houston, we have a problem. It does not clear that PCB down there. And so when I jam it in, this piece wants to come out because that's the only thing that'll give. So I have 2 options. Option number 1 is to get a different fan. The only fan I can get is going to be a Cremier fan. We're just going to be back where we started because that's not going to cool it well enough in the cupboard space that this thing sits in, and so that's, I think, not an option. Option number 2 is I do some modification and remove this part of this metal, or somehow modify this part of this metal. And that's not ideal, but I don't know what else to do. But when I do that, how is this fan going to be secured in there? Because these are where the screws go. There's no good option here. I'm going to try to bend it just right along this edge. That has a very high probability of being a disaster. Worst case scenario, I cut out a piece of acrylic and put on there to replace this thing. Let's try it. Well, it wasn't a complete disaster, which is really surprising. So now the problem is I can't move the fan this direction to now line up with these screw holes. And, you know, this was kind of predictable. I may just have to cut a piece of acrylic out and replace this piece of metal with acrylic. Okay, so I found a high-resolution photo of the back of this thing so that I can laser cut a new back. And it turns out other pictures online show this really nice black powder-coated metal or something, anodized aluminum maybe. It's certainly not like the ugly one you have. So I wonder what the deal is there. You know, using this and some measurements I took, I can draw outlines where I need to cut holes. And now what I'm doing is trying to figure out what the grill and the fan should look like. It have to be the same as the original one, right? It could be any design I want. How nice does this look? I was showing Alexia what I was planning on doing, and she says, well, why don't you just cut it right down there? Here's my impression of the face I made when she said that. But look how pretty. Got a little matte black paint on there. Now remember I said that the pictures online had this like nice black back and you had this weird gross metal back? Well, guess what? Forgotten about this piece. Here's my impression of what I looked like when I discovered I forgot this piece. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is just cut this piece also. My concern was this guy right here, and so I want to keep that guy. I think this helps the top clip down. I'm also gonna try to cut this in half so I can put at least half the piece on. Hey Molly, did you need some attention?
Yeah.
Did Molly need some attention there?
Don't get me in the picture.
Do you hear that, Alexia?
No.
Ha!
It's on?
It's on.
Are you sure? Can you
Yep.
feel it?
I can see it.
Can't really feel anything. I guess it's a little
Well,
warm.
so it varies the RPM based on the sensor inside. So it'll blow harder when it's hot.
That's funny. Sorry, are you recording? You'll edit that out.
Yes. I will edit that out.